Welcome to Nerdities. Bitches.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, nope, strike that, reverse it. Fuck your kids. I don't care about your little semen demons, your crotch goblins, your fucking, what, your muff mogwais. I don't give a shit.
That's new.
Yeah. This.
Semen demons is a pretty rare one.
Yeah. This is the internet's greatest pro wrestling podcast. This is Wrestling with Ourselves. I am one half of the host of this show. A third of the Trios champions. I am the Lord and Master of the Universe, the Alpha of Alphas. Justin, as always, joined by my hetero life mate, co-host, the other brother in our trio. He is the god of the dad bod. He is the king of chaos.
Kyle.
Vinny's not here, so he doesn't get the full intro, but he would be the other guy. And, of course, he is the oldest young boy in the biz. He is the $1 million mensch.
Joe.
And now prepare yourselves to have your minds and ears blown like a full audio orgasm. For he hails from parts well known. He is the mouth of the East. He is God's favorite atheist.
Mike, thanks for setting the bar so high.
You're fucking welcome.
So, I've been thinking about this. I think, based on the intro that you give him and the tease that, like, he's going to pleasure everyone's ears on this show, I think it's not very fitting that he does the third most talking.
That's what makes it so special.
Oh, when I talk, it's orgasmic, not because I talk.
Right.
Okay.
Now you're with me. All right. There's a lot of stuff that happened. And it all kind of bleeds together. So we're going to jump through the stories.
You just described life.
And then, now is the time. I am going to reveal to the masses our upcoming pro wrestling show that is going to be able to be viewed on the YouTubes.
I'm excited for this, but I'm still very skeptical about how it's going to be, how it's going to work being filmed.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it is. Maybe it will just be audio.
I don't think that would... Nah, I'd want more visuals on this.
We're gonna.
If we had somebody who could animate the audio.
Yeah, that would take forever.
Yeah.
We just made.
Yeah.
Hey, listen. If you can make 500 NFTs
over 6 months.
Oh man.
All right. AEW got a shiny new TV deal. They're now going to be making $150 million a year, guaranteed for the next 3 years, with an optional 4th year from Warner Brothers Discovery.
I heard it was $150 a year minimum.
Could be.
Like they weren't sure of the number, but $150 was the minimum.
I've heard between $150 and $175.
Yeah, that's what I heard too.
So I'm going bottom of the barrel here. If they get more, great. Even $150 is fantastic for 3 years.
Yeah.
That leaves Rampage, right? Or is it no, Collision and Dynamite still on TNT and TBS. With them now in January beginning streaming those shows on Max. We also are going to see the pay-per-views move to Max for a lower price tag, so it'll be additional like UFC is on the Fox Sports app. So you'd still have to pay, but you're not going to be paying $60, $50 for the pay-per-views, which is cool. The internet being the internet, and most of it wanting to see AEW fail for some reason, they're all like, it's not that good of a deal. But, like, it's pretty fucking good. It's a pretty fucking good deal.
I mean, people who are saying it's not a good deal fall into one of two categories. They're either the people that said they were going to fail and not get a new deal at all.
Right.
Or they're the people who are saying that the new deal was going to be significantly less than what was rumored. And it's actually slightly more than was rumored.
Yes.
So, both of those groups of people are wrong.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know how
So,
the
like,
internet... Yeah.
This doesn't affect their deal with TNT and TBS, right? That they're still getting money from there, but now they're also getting money from HBO.
Well, so Warner Brothers
Owns
Discovery owns both.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah. What is interesting about all this is that gives them the ability to shop Rampage out, and the rumor has been it's been to Fox, who just
And,
offloaded SmackDown.
but I believe the assumption is that when they sell it out to Fox, it's going to be rebranded Shockwave. I believe is what the
Right.
thought is now, right?
Right. And it'll most likely be on like FS1. Still not a bad deal. Still going to be extra money. So, it's coming up Millhouse for AEW. Good for them. In more AEW news, Kenny Omega is set to make his return in January for the New Japan Wrestle Dynasty pay-per-view. It's another AEW New Japan DDT crossover promotion thing. And it's going to be the Young Bucks versus Kenny Omega and Hiroshi Tanahashi. And
I thought we talked about this on the show already, but then I forgot we had a phone call. You and I the other morning.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited about this. Although I think I said to you, while I like the idea of Tanahashi being in the match, he would not have been my first choice. But obviously, Kota Ibushi would have been the first choice. But Kota's not going to work with New Japan probably ever again.
No. Oh, Daniel Garcia signed a new contract, apparently.
That's good.
Yeah, Dynamite is on right now. Because there's some weird shit.
You just have so much time to think.
So, that's good.
It's on now?
Yeah, it's on right now because something is causing it to not be on tomorrow night.
Okay.
Baseball, basketball, some shit. So, whatevs. Good. Great. Fantastic. Last week, we saw MVP and Shelton Benjamin pop up trying to, recruit some more people. Bobby Lashley, it has been all but confirmed that he also signed a new contract with AEW a few weeks ago. We're going to probably see the Hurt Business, or now what's going to be the Hurt Syndicate in AEW. Kyle has feelings on this. I think it's great. Kyle?
Yeah, so it's not so much feelings on the group itself. It's feelings about specific members of the group. So I would say, like, I, in my brain, have them ranked of the members of the Hurt Business. Ray was the Hurt Business originally?
Yes.
Yeah. Of the Hurt Business that I would like to see in AEW. So MVP was obviously number one because he's the manager, and they could have gone the route of pairing him with existing AEW talent to kind of push those guys that have kind of been shelved, over the last year or whatever. And I had a couple people in mind for that specifically to kind of fill the roles of Lashley and Shelton Benjamin. But I have always liked Shelton Benjamin. I think he's an excellent worker, super athletic, and his size fits in with AEW in that you're not expecting him to come out and squash everybody he wrestles. So I think he is a better fit than Bobby Lashley in the company. So if I had to pick between the two of them, I would pick Shelton over Bobby. And Shelton's only a year older than Bobby Lashley anyway. But both guys are in their late 40s. So I don't love the idea of two guys in a stable being damn near 50 and being regular workers. Like I would prefer them to be like 10 years younger than that if they're going to be in the same stable. But it is what it is. Bobby comes in. It's not like they're going to be a bad group. The name I threw out to Justin that I wanted in the group if they were going to replace Bobby Lashley is Will Hobbs. But Justin, you made the point that there's no reason why Hobbs couldn't just be in the group as the younger up-and-coming guy, because I think he's only 33.
Yeah.
Which is still not like as young as I want for the guy that's in that role, but if he's 33 and Bobby Lashley's 48, that's a noticeable age difference.
But it's a good thing where Hobbs comes in, maybe Lashley gets jealous down the road. It's a good feud, and it's a way for them to put Hobbs over by taking out Lashley. And it's Lashley giving back and passing a torch that he never really got passed to him to begin with because, well, leading into another story, sometimes the WWE not the nicest to people of color.
Bullshit.
But first, Eric Young was on the Chris Van Fleet podcast, and
what a great fuck. Dude, I don't even like to call him by his whole name because I think just calling him CVV it adds something to his aura.
Sure.
Referring to him by his initials. But every interview with him, if it's somebody that I care about even a little bit, is like a great interview start to finish every time.
He is good at his job.
Yeah, and I think maybe not everybody listening to this knows how I feel about EY, but easily top 5 favorite TNA Impact wrestlers for me of all time.
Sure. The current TNA stars explained that while there were several reasons for wanting to depart WWE, the main one was that he didn't want to work for Vince McMahon, who had returned to the company after previously being retired. Additionally, he revealed that he had to sign an NDA, which prevented him from giving more information. Quote, "The number one reason was I just don't want to work for a person like that. And this is long before all the other stuff would come out, but I was pretty convinced I knew who he was and how he was, and most of all, most professionally, how he was, but more importantly for me, morally, I just can't work for a human being like that, so I asked for my release and was granted it. And I'm not saying any of the stuff because I had to sign an NDA. I don't regret it, not at all. I think it's the coolest for me. It's not lost to me that I was able to walk away from money like that, stability like that because of what I believe, beliefs that the kind of human being that I am. Yeah. Which bleeds over to something that happened today. Janelle Grant's attorney, Ann Callis, sent a letter last night to WWE, Vince McMahon, and John Laurinaitis asking that NDAs with other former WWE employees and contractors not be enforced. Quote, "If WWE and its parent company Endeavor are serious about parting ways with Vince McMahon and the toxic workplace culture he created. Their executives should have no problem with releasing former WWE employees from their NDAs. This is the first step to rehabilitating a company that covered up decades of sexual assault and human trafficking. Now...
Did you say human trafficking?
Yeah.
That's one of the charges.
There's one of the charges against him for Grant. So, this puts WWE and Endeavor in a really fucking awkward position.
I think they have enough recourse that they can say we can't lift the NDAs because there are other things they could say not pertaining to the Vince McMahon situation that could compromise us.
Yes.
So we're just going to have to leave them in place.
But that also makes them look like they're hiding shit.
Yeah.
But they are.
Well, I know they are. We all know they are. But, like, Endeavor's got the potential here to be like, yeah, you know what? Fucking release the NDAs. This is our company now. What happened in the past is the past. We will fully cooperate to make sure that that environment does not happen again.
That would be good PR for them.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it would. The only risk they're taking in doing that, though, is any NDAs that were signed regarding interactions with Dwayne and Paul.
Agreed.
Because anybody outside of those two, arguably, either is not a prominent figure in the company anymore, or has known to have been an asshole in the past already. Like, if something were to come out about Shawn Michaels, people would just be like,
well,
yeah, that guy was an asshole for 15 years in a row. He was, you know what I mean? He had substance abuse problems, and he was known to be an asshole to women and people lower on the card.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
but like,
that would kind of be like rehashing old shit for Shawn.
I mean, it's interesting too because on the third episode of maybe second, it was either towards the end of the second or in the beginning of the third episode of the McMahon documentary, Tony Atlas blatantly says, if what we did back then were today, he goes, we'd all be screwed. He's like, we were vile towards women. We were vile towards people. So, like, it's out there. I think the only right thing to do is to lift them. They're not gonna. It's not gonna fucking happen.
I think another reason they're not is it doesn't matter if it wasn't under their watch. They're still liable. They purchased the company. They're liable for any damages, civil suit wise.
Sure.
They're not going to open themselves up to that.
And if they weren't a publicly traded company and it couldn't affect their shareholders like the news, they'd probably be more inclined to just do it because it's just like, it's easier to like clean out your closet when it's not going to affect other people's bottom line.
Right. Fiduciary responsibility.
Fiduciaries.
Okay, that's that. Let's get into WWE's Bad Blood happened Saturday. We caught the end of it. Only 5 matches, from what I understand. Shit was over by 9:30.
I was surprised that we only really saw one match.
Yeah?
I didn't realize what time it was. I guess they've really been getting a lot of flack for those late shows.
I mean, since Levesque has taken over, none of the shows have really gone long. Even Manias were done by like 10:30. It was really fucking nice.
I don't even remember what match we saw.
We'll get to it. Okay, the night started with the Hell in a Cell match, CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre. The months-long, although it's felt like years-long, rivalry between the two. It was a good match. Punk obliterated McIntyre with a toolbox to the face. A non-gigged toolbox to the fucking head. How dare they do such a dangerous shot in professional wrestling today?
Cry me a river.
I gotta be honest. If it was any other opponent in this match, I don't think anybody would have fucking said anything at all.
Yeah, you're right. Punk bled, but McIntyre gushed, requiring 16 staples in his head. Punk won. So Fragile Phil came out on Raw the next night. Was like, I don't know if I'm going to be back. I'll see you guys soon. And he like fucking leaves, and then Rollins gets in his face, and that'll be the next match for him, I'm sure. The Women's Championship was on the line as Bayley took on Nia Jax, the champ.
Isn't Nia Jax very big?
Very. Nia defeated Bayley to retain.
Yeah. I'm trying to picture this match in my mind, and it doesn't look realistic, no matter how I set it up.
One of the key...
Bella's not really little.
One of the key comments of the night from Michael Cole in commentary, quote, "This has been a Met-style thrashing by Nia." Joe, I threw that one out there for you.
Yeah, just like they did to the Phillies. Yeah.
Damian Priest took on Finn Balor, with Priest defeating Balor. Triple H made a historic announcement. Get ready for this one, Mike. WWE Chief Content Officer Triple H not only revealed a historic night at the box office Saturday night for Bad Blood, but he also unveiled the Crown Jewel Championship. The title will be competed for on November 2nd at Crown Jewel in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, as the top two men's and women's champions compete against each other, with the winner hoisting the new diamond-studded belt. So it'll be a champions versus champions match, and they will receive the Crown Jewel champion.
How many fucking millions of dollars, millions of blood money did they just make to create a fucking belt specifically for the Saudis? Oh, man.
Wait, when is that, Justin? When is that date?
November 2nd.
And are there any major events between now and then?
No.
So who are the current champions? That will be...
Cody Rhodes and Gunther.
Okay.
And Nia and Liv?
I don't understand how this belt's supposed to operate. Is this just like a championship you win anytime the blood money?
It'll only be defended it'll only be done for at Blood Money, and it'll pit the champions versus the champions.
Which is weird.
Night, Joe.
It continues the trend of the matches at these fucking shows being horrendous. Night, Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Odds are it ends similar to Triple H and Shawn Michaels versus Undertaker and Kane.
I don't think it could possibly end that badly. I heard multiple counts of that match. I heard Taker describing that match in one interview, and then when he had Glenn Jacobs on the 6 Feet Under podcast, they talked about it again. And yeah, brutal.
No one was proud of that night.
No.
Triple H makes this announcement. Gunther appears and wastes little time taunting Goldberg, who sat ringside with his wife and son. WWE Hall of Famer hopped the guardrail and would have battled the ring general had security not stepped in. Instead, Sami Zayn jumped the Austrian in a preview of their main event Monday night on Raw. Goldberg stood tall to close out the segment. Gunther's one line to Goldberg was, "I hope you're a better father than you were a professional wrestler."
Lizzo's right. Truth hurts.
Yeah. Women's World Championship, Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan and a Dominic Mysterio in a shark cage match.
This is kind of funny to me. I kind of really like this notion of Dominic Mysterio turning into what would classically be the woman's role.
Yeah, that's great.
Like the valet. They should have him, if they really want to screw around, he should have to do like a bikini match.
Yeah.
To have him do the degrading shit that women had to do during the Attitude Era.
Raquel Rodriguez would pop up during the end part of this match. Ripley would defeat Morgan via disqualification.
You saw that was a confirmed botch, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, that whole fucking... It was rough to look at.
Like, so, well, what was supposed to happen was it Raquel he said it was?
Yeah.
Was supposed to come out when the referee was distracted for the screw job. But what ended up, her timing was off, and she came out, and the referee clearly saw her, and so called for the DQ, and Raquel, not realizing she was called for the DQ, continued with, like, the fake cover as if it was a screw job.
I saw something about a botch along these lines, and that does sound like a full-fledged clusterfuck.
Yeah. So, the quick thing about Goldberg Gunther, if that happens, probably, I mean, I don't think it's necessarily going to be worse than when Goldberg wrestled Steven Regal. But it has the potential to be the modern version of that. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, Gunther's not, like, the most technical of wrestlers, but he is certainly head and shoulders above anything Goldberg ever was.
Well, yeah, I mean, if we're being honest, most fucking people are.
Yeah. But, I mean, and Goldberg's older now. So, if that happens, it's going to be pretty embarrassing.
If I was Gunther, I would not want anything to do with it after seeing the Saudi Arabia match between Taker and Goldberg. That thing was fucking abysmal.
If I was Gunther, the only way I would do it is if I could get Bret Hart to be the special guest referee.
Oh, shit.
Well, Bret was out the Monday beforehand, and Gunther came out. He's like, Goldberg was my favorite wrestler. So, I don't think Bret's going to do that. Also, Bret's not the kind of guy to show up for Saudi. Like,
so you think what's going to happen in Saudi is Goldberg's going to screw Gunther and Cody's going to win?
Probably.
The crown? Yeah, that makes sense.
Speaking of Cody Rhodes, he and Roman Reigns took on Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu in the main event of the night. In what was literally 10 minutes of fucking entrances.
I think you're underestimating that. Because I'm pretty sure Cody had a 5-minute to 6-minute entrance.
You're right. So Cody, I'm really tired of fucking Cody Rhodes' bullshit. If we're being quite honest, the heel turn, whether he fucking likes it or not, it is going to be incredible when it happens. But like, The dude had a high school band or a college band play his entire entrance music, right? And he didn't even come out. They finished the song, and then the real song played, and Cody came out.
But didn't, like, do a run. No, he did that fucking Cody stop at the entrance ramp, walk back and forth a few times, get hyped, and then slowly walk down. And it wasn't even a long ramp this time.
And then
fucking forever.
And then Roman, the king of the slowest fucking entrance ever.
That's not true.
I am almost positive that Roman Reigns' entrance on any given night is longer than The Undertaker's.
Really?
Saturday
I fucking
night.
guarantee you.
Saturday night made The Undertaker look like the Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah. And that was just the entrances. I'd say a good 15 minutes after the 10 to 12 minutes of entrances, they finally touched.
Yeah, because there was a lot of standing in the ring looking at each other. You gonna go? You gonna go? You gonna, me? You? Him? Me? Me? You? Me? Fucking figure it out and go to work.
Yeah. So then, it wasn't looking good for Cody and Roman because Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa came out. And then Jimmy Uso would return, super kick both of them, get in the ring, fucking super kick Solo. And then they would, fucking Roman and Cody would get the win. And then The Rock came out. And he just stood there on the ramp, not looking happy, looking kind of cheesed. He did not come out last night, but he wouldn't because Roman and Cody are both on SmackDown. So we'll see what happens on USA on SmackDown on fucking Friday. And that was it. And then they had a press conference. And Triple H put his foot in his mouth like he tends to do. And he was asked about the lack of representation in the WWE over the past, and he was just like, hey, listen, I don't see color. One of my best friends is black.
Really was one of those.
That
He
kind.
did not say one of my best friends is black.
He didn't say that, but like that's the kind of
He literally did say, I look at the performance, not the color.
Yes, he did say that.
Yes.
I don't
So
see color.
really, like, I don't see color. One of those classic hippie lines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, look, I get what he was trying to say, but like, people bitch that Tony Khan is like a fucking big fanboy when he does the press conferences, and they're not wrong. He is. He's like a happy little child with all his toys. But like, I'll take that any day over Triple H because he's not good at the fucking press conferences. He's not. They should not have him doing it because it's not the first time that he's fucking put his foot in his mouth at one of these. He's done it a lot. Just like, maybe you've got enough people in that company. Don't have Paul go out there and do the fucking press conferences.
Maybe I'm missing the way the industry's flowing, but it feels really fucking stupid to have these press conferences to begin with. It's not an actual sport.
Well-
It's like putting on a play and then having a fucking Q&A afterwards.
So like,
They didn't used to do them.
they did not.
No, they didn't.
So New Japan did it, right? But it made sense because New Japan is presented in like a very sports-like context.
It goes
Yeah.
with kayfabe.
Yes. So like, Tony, when AEW was, first being thrown about, was going to have a more sports-like feel, and it did for like the first 3 months. And so like, it made sense that AEW was going to have press conferences. And then Triple H was like, well, fuck Tony Khan. I'm going to start doing press conferences. But like, when the wrestling journalists ask, they get to ask legit questions. And questions like this come up. Like, what is the deal with the lack of representation in this company? And he's not ready for giving those types of answers. There's people better suited in that company who could do it. So, like...
Yeah. I mean, he and Tony definitely have opposite issues, right? Like, Tony's big problem in those press conferences is, like, talking in circles and sometimes not answering the questions. And Paul's are, he sometimes answers the questions too quickly without thinking through his answer.
Yeah. So, like, this led to the internet posting articles and, like, people putting comments. And, like, I found myself, after a few minutes of reading these, getting drawn in. And so I had a singles match. So it went like this. This dude, Jason Hellman, was like, unfortunately, it always seems like they do get slighted with shorter title reigns or bad gimmicks. I don't know if he's talking about people of color in WWE. I don't know if this is more telling of Triple H or what the fans really respond to. One of my favorite teams in wrestling ever the past 10 years is the New Day. Great gimmick, off-the-charts ability and personality, always entertaining. Not sure how they do at the moment without Big E, since I don't really watch WWE or TV altogether anymore. To which Kyle Christopher Knapp responds, Tell me of one, he's saying person of color, that was deserving to have a long reign and be the main event for years. I'll wait right here. Chad Reppert responded to Jason, New Day is over as a team. None of the individual parts have it. Big E didn't even have it. If he didn't get hurt, he wouldn't have had the title for long due to that reason. William Hersher responds, Jason Hellman, the New Day, and the Usos had the tag titles for years if you add up all of their reigns, plus Roman Reigns held the title for over 3 years, trying to make the case for people of color. This is where I step in, and I say, well, William, because WWE never put effort into the tag division, they still don't. Both of those teams carried the division because they were the division. Similar to when the Hardys, Edge, and Christian and the Dudleys were around, the issue, I think, isn't that there hasn't been representation in the champions. It's that their title reigns are usually short, and most of the time they're one and done. We all knew what Levesque meant, but he should have explained it a little better. Nothing I said there was, I wasn't poking any bears, right? Sounds all good. It's fair. It's a fair assessment.
Okay.
Well, the fact that you spoke at all is going to get somebody pissed off, but
Sure.
all right.
Okay. Love you. So, Jason responded to me exactly, and Arnold Grijalva Velasquez says, Justin Patterson, why should it be his job for him to formulate just the right words that will appease you or anyone else? If you say you get the message, then semantics shouldn't be that big of a deal. Where did Chad's original post go? So, there was another thing that I stated to someone else, but apparently got taken down. And then Chad came back at me. And he got pissy with me, so I responded to Chad, here we go. Oh, dear, sweet, simple-minded Chad. I'm sorry that your go-to defense is to insult someone's intelligence once they call you out for your unintelligible comments. Doesn't make you feel better. Because Chad told me that I was too simple-minded to understand what Triple H was trying to say. Chad responds...
Even though you said we all understand what he's trying to say.
Mm-hmm. So then he goes, I felt fine to begin with. I'm not trying to insult you, just trying to explain why you don't understand. Not everyone learned to think critically. You didn't. That's okay. You should consider it defending people who get upset because someone used a bad word and hurt their feelings is very elementary. And I said, Chad, who used a bad word? Felt fine to begin with, you say? Then why do you interject yourself into this conversation? Do you need attention? Well, you got some. Let me break down my point again for you since you clearly missed it. I understood what he was trying to say. However, as a businessman and a leader of a global company, he should choose his words more wisely. Are you comprehending this now, or do you need it dumbed down? I could try to use stick figures if you'd like, but it would take up a lot of space in the comments.
I think you might have too much time on your hands.
This was this was Sunday night.
As Styx would say.
Sunday night.
Too much time on his hands.
So yeah, WWE, they have a bit of an issue with, a variety.
Man, I would have feasted on that guy who said, name one person of color who deserved to hold. I don't know in the list of names of people that were involved in the comments if that was the same person you ended up battling, but that is absolutely the person that I would have gone toe to toe with.
Yeah, I was looking for it, but then Chad interrupted me. But to my knowledge, I think there's been only six, seven black WWE champions?
You're saying combined reigns of every heavyweight championship?
Yes.
Every world championship? Yeah, I mean, who had it? The Rock obviously had it.
Okay.
Did Ahmed Johnson ever win it?
I can tell you right now, there's been only 6 black men and 6 black women.
Well, we're not just talking about black people, right? We're talking about any person of color, but...
Well, yes, but... Okay, so we have The Rock,
Mm-hmm.
Booker T,
Yep.
Mark
Okay.
Henry. Mark Henry is one.
Okay.
Okay.
Kofi Kingston,
Yep.
Bobby Lashley,
Bobby Lashley. Yep.
Big E.
Biggie. That's it?
Yes.
And none of those are before the last 20 years, right? The Rock
Yes. Yeah.
and Ahmed was sometime in the 90s.
You didn't say Ahmed, though, did
Yeah,
you?
I don't think Ahmed was a world champion.
Okay, did not. So yes.
Oh, you know what? You know what? He would have been a world champion in WWF if he was.
True.
That might be what the discrepancy is.
Is that what they're carrying over? They're literally when the
No,
name
no,
change
no,
started-
no, because they have Jacqueline listed as one of the 6 female.
Okay.
So for the women, it's been Jacqueline, Jazz, Alicia Fox, Naomi, Sasha Banks, and Bianca Belair.
Okay.
That is definitely within the last 20 years. 'Cause I don't remember half of those names.
Yeah. And I think it's been even less Asian champions.
That's not shocking.
So here's my thing. The argument for somebody like what the one guy said, that the thing that pissed me off is like, who is deserving of it, right? To me, when we've talked about what makes a good wrestler, right?
Yeah.
They don't, just because they're a person of color does not mean that they have to be super charismatic in order to be a champion,
Yeah.
right? Like, there have been plenty of white bread, bland, fucking boring as shit white champions
Yes.
in that company's history.
Correct.
There's no legitimate reason why they couldn't have a person of color who's just a very good wrestler be their champion.
Yeah.
Right? Like Booker T, without the spinneroonie, still would have been, or still should have been a champion.
He was on that list.
No, I'm saying, even without,
Oh, right.
like, because they used him as, like, an entertainer, and he did silly shit like the spinneroonie.
Like, skill alone should have gotten him that belt.
Yeah, And his ability on the mic was like, he was pretty consistently one of the better people on the microphone. Like, he wasn't Jericho or The Rock
Right.
or Steve Austin, but he was noticeably better than most of that roster.
Still good. Still good.
Yeah, like Bret Hart was vanilla as fuck, but he was so skilled that he could have held
Right.
it for a decade.
That's what I'm saying. Like, Shelton Benjamin was a good enough wrestler to be a champion in his prime.
Yeah.
All right. Unfortunately, guys, I have to cut out because Sadie just woke up and I have no idea where Jill is. She probably fell asleep.
Damn it! No, I have to do the roster.
All right. Well, real quick then.
Okay.
Before we do the roster, Motor City Machine Guns had their teaser
Yeah. Yeah, they did.
on SmackDown.
Yeah, it's fine. Whatever.
Well, no, I'm excited about knowing where they're landing,
I mean,
knowing they're going to be on SmackDown.
yeah, but I'm just pissed that they're going to that company because the tag division sucks. All right, let me break down the roster for our wrestling DVD and D real quick, which we are going to be calling Rings and Wrestlers. Because, like, Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah? Get it? Okay.
Yeah, if wrestlers started with an R.
It's you know what? Bite me. All right, here's the men's roster, starting with the legends. We're going to have Sparkle Dust, Scoot Stainer, Dude Lust, Vinny Savage, and Joey Whitebread, all played by you guys who played them in the vignettes. So you will be having that extra character as well. The jobbers are Super Otaku. He's a masked wrestler from Japan. The Manhattan Waller. The Jackers, which features Tug Headley, Jockstrap, Average Dick Johnson, and Thundermunder. He's not part of that group, but he is in the jobber unit. In the mid-card, we have Abel, Goliath, Tien Lu, Sunny Days, Eduardo Arroyo, Rin Hitsugaya. These are all people that I've made up names for. Yes, Kyle. The main event features the Sexy One JDP, Venomous Vin Grandy, Ryberg, The Overtaker, Matt Storm, Wilbur Beast, Malcolm Phoenix, and Eric Stone. The women's division features Kayla Frost, Lilith, Demona. Lilith and Demona are part of the group The Pantheon with The Overtaker, Goliath, and Abel. Elena Arroyo, the sister of Eduardo Arroyo. Penny Dreadful, Tanya West, Sakura Morimoto. And do you know how Abaddon exists in AEW? She's just like this weirdo that pops out and people are frightened of her. Well, we have one in our women's division. We have Snagglefish.
Great.
Then our tag teams are as follows. The Dollywood Brunettes. We have William and Henry the Knights, the British Knights. Bobby and Nee, the Brothers Sox. The Country Strong Cousins, Zeke Rufus, and their valet cousin Clementine. And Alex Nova and Josh King, the Nova King Way.
I tell you, these are better names than most companies have.
Yes.
Yeah, Mike, just wait.
I
have my tag team and my female wrestler named already.
I gotta get cracking.
I am very proud of my roster.
Oh. I guess since we're on the topic, get this on record. 2 questions about this idea.
Yes.
1, do you have a list of championships for the company that we would be vying for?
Yes.
And the second part of this question is, you had asked us to do a singles wrestler, a tag team, and a female wrestler.
Correct.
Is there an option, or do you have any plans for inclusion of managers? Because you only listed like one, I think, the cousin.
Cousin Clementine.
Yeah.
Managers will be NPC players that will float in and out. They're not on the main roster with the exception of Clementine.
But you're not asking us or allowing us to create a manager, correct?
Correct. Because
Like if we wanted to pair one of the three things that we're creating with a manager.
yeah, no,
Okay.
because it's just a variable. I don't feel like breaking down the D&D matrix for.
Okay. So do you have the list of championships yet or no?
I'm refining it. I wasn't sure if I wanted to go ridiculous and have 16 titles, or if I wanted to be the way I would like a company structured, and that's very few titles. Which I think it's going to be the latter, not the former.
Yeah. I mean, I was just wondering because if there were going to be, like, for example, multiple mid-card titles for men, if you were going to have some version of a hardcore title, and then the other thing that I was wondering is if you were going to have some kind of a trios title, given the fact that you only asked us to create a tag team.
Yes, there is no trios title. It will be only classic tag team.
You know, there should be a 24/7 title, so we have to carry our dice with us at all times, and someone could just walk up to somebody else and challenge them.
That'd be fun. But I think it's going to be maybe 4 titles total.
So, okay, so heavyweight, mid-card, women's, and tag team.
Yeah.
Okay.
Down the line, I might introduce a 5th title for shits and giggles. But look forward to that, kids.
I mean, just because you know that if you presented something even remotely similar to a hardcore title, I'm pushing at least one of my characters down that path.
I can tell you a hardcore title will probably come at some point. Hardcore matches will be a thing. For sure.
Sweet.
Alright, go rock your kid to sleep. Mike and I will wrap this up.
Alright. Thank you, gentlemen.
You're welcome. Good night.
Great.
Kyle says if you like what you hear, go to those places that you find us. Facebook, Instagram.
I mean, if you're wrapping it up, I could just do it.
Oh, okay. I mean, that's fine. You can do that.
Alright. As always, if you like what you hear, you can like us on Facebook.com/Nerdities. Follow us on Twitter @Nerdities. Email us at nerdities@gmail.com and check out nerdities.com.
Then I say fuck you and go to tpublic.com/nerdities for the little bit of time we'll probably still be on there. Next year we'll probably be in a different shop because tpublic can suck my ass. Sinful Creations by Justin.com. Get sweet treats. Or don't. The power is yours, as they say. I'm Captain Planet. Then Joe goes, "Oh, Justin, I love the people." And then he says, go to youtube.com/nerdities. Like, subscribe, fuck the button, smash the thingy. Play with yourself, however that all goes. Then he's going to be like, things are coming. And he goes, but not me tonight. I added that part. Then I say, what, Joe? And he goes, like Nerd ET, Season 1's already available. And I say, Nerd ET Season 2 begins filming this winter. And then he says, we have a Halloween special coming. Then I would fill in the information, because he's bad at it, saying, our Halloween special is issues 1 and 2 of our very own comic, Dark Days of Brickton, is a horror comic. And very much inspired by Monster Squad. You'll like it. Huh?
Very much.
Very much. You'll like it. We do voices. There's great commercials. Then we have a Christmas special coming, as long as everybody can pick a fucking night to do it. And the 100 greatest musical artists of all time, according to Nerdities. So that's always fun. That's us being a little buzzed and yelling at each other. In person. Then Justice League, the final installment in the Joe trilogy, is dropping next year. We begin filming this winter. More news on possibly helping us make that a thing that you can help fund. And we have concepts for 2 feature-length films, right? We're at 2?
At least 2.
At least 2.
I have tons of them. We're trying to...
Well, yeah, I mean,
narrow
but
down.
like 2 that are going to tell stories into the other one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just had another idea that we could potentially use as the first one. I don't know. We gotta lock shit in.
Yeah, we gotta do stuff.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's all coming. So, yeah, look forward to all that shit. And then Mike says,
He pins the nerdy screw or idiotic and boys up, but don't worry, next week's before. More something, okay?
fuck bye.
Okay.
Because of the end of civilization, the Clamp Cable Network now leaves the air. We hope you have enjoyed our programming, but more importantly, we hope you have enjoyed life.